Watch what's approaching, the supreme moment. Reality striking closer than it seems, don't it? Go ahead, it's for the taking if you want it. If not, the dream dies and you'll be forever haunted. Then confront it.
What's good? I finished the Extreme Z Awakening for the free-to-play LR Zamasu / Goku yesterday, but I was contemplating on how to appropriately showcase this unit, and I ended up deciding to just run through Super Battle Road with the Realm of Gods category stage and just run through it and see how he does on this setup because of the skill sets built in. Now, the interesting to note too is it is the very first LR unit to get an Extreme Z Awakening, and I found it kind of odd that they decided to give it to one of the newest LR units, to be honest with you. I figured they would go with the older obsolete units like LR Super Saiyan Goku or LR Piccolo, LR Hercule, and what have you, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely a start to a new, game-breaking, implementation, I guess, because this is the very first LR to get an EZA. So with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about the final stats at the Extreme Z Awakened LR status. So again, this is the free-to-play Extreme Strength type LR Zamasu / Goku unit. Leader skill is Time Travelers category, Ki +3. HP attack and defense increase of 100%. For the 12 key super attack, I believe it's colossal damage to enemy and also lowers attack and defense. And then for the 18 key, it raises attack and defense for 1 turn and causes mega colossal damage to enemies. So the skill sets definitely did get improved upon. So it's nice where it lowers both attack and defense, but also the 18 key, you have the ability to raise his own attack and defense for 1 turn on top of mega colossal damage to enemy. With the passive skill, you're looking at an attack and defense increase of 59%. Ki +1 with each attack received up to 6. Launches an additional attack that has a medium chance of becoming a super attack when facing 2 or more enemies. Plus an additional attack and defense increase of 20% with each final blow delivered up to 59%. So again, with all those skill sets given, pretty much Super Battle Road's the best area to test this unit out. In terms of links, you're looking at Godly Power, that's 15% toward attack. Cold Judgment, 20% to defense. Nightmare is 10% to attack. Dismal Future is Ki +1. Fear and Faith, Ki +2. Shattering the Limit is +2 Ki. And then Legendary Power, of course, is 5,000 to attack when SA is launched. Looks like 5 categories for this unit: Realm of Gods, Patara, Future Saga, Dragon Ball Seekers, and Time Travelers. Again, this is tested on the Realm of Gods setup on the Super Battle Road stage setting. At 100% potential, the stats are... this looks like the Rainbow stats pre-EZA, so I'm not going to comment on that one because I'm not 100% on it based on the Dokkan Wiki information, but I can list it in the pinned comment section. So yeah, so let's go ahead and talk about the unit itself. In terms of like the team setup, I kind of went with a little bit of a different approach this time. I included the EZA Tech Beerus as well as the LR Beerus and Whis. I just wanted them to be included on the alternative rotation because they tend to do pretty well both offensively and defensively based on damage received by the enemy. And then, of course, the main rotation will be the new free-to-play LR Goku or LR Zamasu / Goku, and various other units on rotation with that guy. Basically, the transforming Zamasu unit, LR Goku Black, I believe, is also on it. A couple of other units as well. I did have the Supreme Kai Time as more of a floating support just to provide that boost from her passive skill where attack and defense increases as well as the critical hit chance. By doing so, it does increase the likelihood of a critical activating with the LR unit to where potentially he could end up dealing the final blow to get that attack and defense increase of 20% up to 59%. In terms of the potential level skill setup, I did give this unit level 9 toward additional attack and level 17 crits, so I did focus a little bit more heavily on the critical hit side. Not really any particular reason to it. I did this already before the final EZA stats were out, so looking back on it in hindsight, I probably would have went with maybe 15-11 additional attack with level 15 and then 11 for critical hits, just because the 12 key super attack does lower enemies' attack and defense. I find that pretty beneficial, especially in settings like this. Not so much in Dokkan events and whatever, where you don't necessarily have the ability to lower attack, but Battle Road is a prime area to test this unit out. And honestly, like, I could have taken a different approach on the showcase, but I did decide to go with the Super Battle Road setting. With that being said, the attack stats are going to be a little bit lower than running through like Infinite Dragon Ball history, for example, because I tended to bring in units that would really be powerful and competent enough to run through it. So, of course, we only have one unit that's purely a supporting type, which is the Supreme Kai Time. So you're never going to see like a double rotation setup or anything like that. But I think, realistically speaking, this is probably somewhat of a team that typically people would run, not necessarily loaded up on support, but pretty much, a balanced out units in offense and defense where it's beneficial to bring on. Goku Black, the LR Goku Black is definitely a little bit of a liability, but I did want to bring that unit in because of the beneficial factor of HP recovery as well as links, and once receiving a few attacks, that unit's pretty damn strong. So it's kind of hard not to include that unit, especially on a Realm of God setup. Again, Beerus and Whis, as well as the Tech Beerus, I don't know. I just ended up taking a different approach on this one and basically decided to include that unit in. Honestly, I could have taken a different format, including units like, like the Gogeta Blue and what have you, but I don't know. These guys are a little bit more stable in terms of defense, so that's probably why I went with that. I mean, these guys are actually phenomenal once they receive an attack, because they do get a defensive boost, so the Tech Beerus is still a very good unit, very strong as well as pretty good defense-wise. So, I don't know. It's just one of those things where I ended up just running this team out of just various testing, I guess. So it all worked out pretty well, I think, in my opinion. But the main focus here is obviously the LR Zamasu unit anyway. So you do have to think about how to go about making sure to deal the final blow. Of course, with Super Battle Road, with every stage, it pretty much resets, or every battle, it resets to where you have to go through that process again. So again, this is why I'm saying, compared to Infinite Dragon Ball History event, where it's continuous, or even Legendary Goku event, you're not going to see that constantly, where it's at its best case scenario, where all the passives are active and whatever, because again, in Super Battle Road, it is going to reset with every battle. But because of the criteria where you get that launching an additional attack with a medium chance of becoming super attack by facing 2 or more enemies, I figured I would just consolidate everything and run through this instead of going through the other battle modes per se. I don't know, a little bit of a tangent topic, but it will be interesting to see how they decide to roll out the EZAs for the LR units. I honestly think they really need to focus more on the older, obsolete units first instead of the newer units. I think it's a little bit more worthwhile to bring back some of the older units. Like, honestly, I've been waiting for an occasion to do an updated showcase on the LR Hercule unit, and it would be fantastic if that unit ended up getting an EZA. The other thing I want to note about EZAs on LRs, especially with the older units, is I really wish they would end up changing the flat number increases to either attack or defense to a percentage-based increase. I think it would just make things a hell of a lot more current, and I think it's reasonable enough to where they should do that. I understand it's a difference they make between free-to-play LRs versus summonable LRs. Like the Prime Battle LRs are pretty much known for that, but I really think it's at that point where they really need to change that system to where it's a percentage-based increase, not a flat number, because otherwise it's always going to be lagging compared to some of the other better LRs. Like the newer LRs, even the free-to-plays, some of them do have built-in percentages added, so it's not like they can't do it. It's just a matter of will they do it for the older units. I think that's ultimately what it comes down to. So I'm looking forward to the day, when I can actually run the Tech LR Super Saiyan Goku on a more frequent basis. I would love to run LR Piccolo on a more regular basis, even like LR Hercule, LR Androids. That would be a great way to use them a lot more again. A lot of those units are still pretty good, I'm not gonna lie, but they can definitely use an improvement, to say the least. Like they needed an improvement way more than this LR Zamasu unit. We'll just put it that way, because Zamasu before the EZA was pretty decent enough as it was, so it's not like the unit necessarily needed an EZA. I don't know if they had planned this already from the get-go, or they got some feedback from the player base in the past couple of days to a week, and I don't know, maybe they found it a little bit underwhelming or whatever the case is. But yeah, it's going to be definitely an interesting 2020, because we will for sure be seeing more LRs get EZAs at some point, and I'm just curious as to how they're going to go about it, honestly. I personally, again, would recommend they go with the older units first. Like LR Goku, I think, would be the best selection for the next EZA for an LR to get, and then just kind of progressively go through the list based on, I would say, chronological order, to be honest with you. But that's just my opinion. Chances are they might not do that. They'll probably go with a different approach. But I did like the format with the EZA process in the Extreme Z area. It wasn't too bad to where it was just one type of medal you had to go through, and the grind itself honestly wasn't too bad. So I think overall that was definitely a pretty nice setup. The team building or team selection for that Extreme Z area didn't seem too bad. I think it was enough to where a lot of people, I think, had enough to build a team out of it. Now, I don't know, depending on how many dupes you have or rainbows, it could make the process a little bit difficult, but I think it was fine personally. I didn't have too many issues with it, so yeah, I can say that it was a pretty decent Extreme Z area this time around. Alright, so I've been kind of talking on a tangent for a little while and didn't really pay attention to the gameplay, so after this Dokkan mode attack, let's just get back into it and see how the LR unit does. Now, I did want to note also that I did rush through this Super Battle Road run, so of course there were plenty of mistakes made, I'm sure, looking back on it in hindsight, but that's typically what a run is. There's very few flawless runs, and when there is one, it's a pretty special occasion, I guess, unless you run through it multiple times to basically get the hang of the process. Like, for example, I think, having to clear Super Battle Road Extreme stage with the Metacooler army, I had to go through it several times to get the flow of things, but this isn't one of those types of deals. It was pretty much just test it out a couple times and run through it and record. That was pretty much how this went down. So with that being said, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. This was pretty much my showcase for the Extreme Z Awakened free-to-play LR Zamasu / Goku unit on the Realm of Gods category stage of Super Battle Road. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys later.